Thank you. Thank you so very much for this lovely music. And yes, welcome, good evening. Welcome to the tribe. We are an unschooling, homeschooling community, which started a year back. And I'm an unschooling mom with a 3.5-year-old daughter. But we've traveled a lot, kind of made friends, made a community across Mumbai, Delhi, Pune. And today we wish to connect with all of you and share our journeys and, take you into the Tribe Cafe where a lot of action is bound to happen. So request all of you to keep yourselves mute and so that you can, we can hear each other clearly. Also, if at any time you feel, you can either type in, if anything, or you can also start typing your questions as and when they come to your mind, and we'll make sure that we take your queries on board and try and interact as much as possible. It'll be great to have your videos on whenever you feel comfortable. Other than that, I think we're ready to go for a hot cup of coffee at the Tribe Cafe. So, yes, here I am. And who am I to find here? Hey, Rashmi, you're here too. You're on mute, Rashmi, I think.
Yes. Hi,
yes.
Ashita.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Just came here to catch up with some of my friends. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we had planned to meet at 4 o'clock actually, but I can't see anybody here. Oh, it's already 4:10. Anupama is not here. Kiran is not here. It's just me who has reached early, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, before coming here, of course, I had to manage a lot, but I somehow managed to come on time. But where are others? Where is Anupama? Let me call Anupama and just where is she? Yeah.
Hello, Rashmi.
Hey, hi, I was just calling you.
I was just around the corner. Sorry, I'm late because I had to drop Sarthak, my younger son. He's 6.5, and I had to drop him to the dance class. Being a dancer, I'm a classical dancer myself. He says that he doesn't want to learn it from me. He says that I want a fast dance. He has chosen some other dance form for himself. So I had to drop him there. Sorry, I'm late ho gaya.
So that's fine. That's fine. At least we could take out some time for ourselves, right? We could, at least like mom's talk time could take out in the midst.
How about your daughter? How is she doing?
Yeah, she's at home right now. I told her to come along, but teenagers, they have their own world. So it was like, no, mama, you carry on with your friends. I'm good at home. She wanted to make some YouTube videos, and also she's taking care of her brother, little brother. So my son and daughter both are there at home. I'm wondering, where is Kiran and where is Rupali? Where is everybody?
Hi, Rashmi.
Hey,
hi, Anupama.
Hi.
So good to see you guys after so long. I missed you all. I was waiting to get here, but Anaya wanted to bake a cake, and I was trying to help her out.
Nice.
Although we bake as we alternate little of my help, probably with the.
Oh, Rupali is here too. And
Hi,
I think Seema is also already here with us.
Yes.
Hi, Seema.
Hi, Seema. After a long time meeting. So how is it going?
Oh, Rupali is here too.
Yes. Hi, Rupali.
Yeah, hi everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
hi.
Rupali, you're on mute, so just unmute and let's just start chit chat.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm joining my village right now, and we are here during the lockdown period.
No, can't hear you, Rupali, properly. Can't hear you. There is some noise, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of echo, so probably two
Echo, yeah.
devices together or
Right.
something. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, is this better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
much
is this better?
better. Yeah, much better.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry about this. So yes, I'm joining you all for this wonderful cafe, the Tribe Cafe from a village in Konkan. And this is
Wow.
where me and Valerie, who is an unschooler, and we are growing and like till and lots of other things, urad dal and all those things. And yeah, eating wild edible green vegetables and all that. Yeah, excited to be here. Seema, what about you?
Yeah, so
Where's
I have this teenage daughter who's quite much into Zoom calls. So for me, it was difficult to get the laptop
Seema?
from
What
her.
about you? Where's
Can
here?
you hear me?
Lots of other I know.
Hello?
Wild edible.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Seema, we can
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you.
Yeah, so there was a laptop confusion going on. My daughter, she's 14 and she has all the time on the laptops for her Zoom calls and her YouTube videos. Her own trainings are going on for painting. So it was difficult for me to take it from her. So
I know.
sometimes on, to just adjust to a new laptop.
Right.
So
At
it's
least
good to be here.
we could catch up on Zoom
Yeah.
because we are not able to meet in person these days because of lockdown. So good that we all could take out time and we have been waiting since long to talk to each other, right? I mean, sharing
Yes.
experiences and everything. Yeah, nice.
Hi, all of you.
Hello.
I'm Purvi,
Hi.
and
Hi,
I've been
Purvi.
listening to, yeah, hi. And I've been listening to your talks past few minutes, and this really interests me when I heard about unschooling, homeschooling. I think our vibrations are matching because I'm a mother of a 8-year-old child, Dhyan, and he very much does go to school. But looking at his ideas and thoughts at times, I feel I don't know whether the four world is really made for him or no. So I was just into that dwelling minds of should I, shouldn't I kind of thing. And when I heard your talks, it interests me. So can I join you all in this conversation
Yeah.
of
Please,
yours?
please
I'd
join
like
in.
to
Please
have
come
some
in. Yeah.
information from you all.
Yes.
So basically with Dhyan, it is like when I hear about his thoughts, like recently because of lockdown, I got more in touch with him. Otherwise, 6 hours goes in school only. So he was talking, there was this topic going on plants, and I was explaining him from the textbook. And after the chapter basic explanation was over, he came up with the thought that I wish to throw all the seeds in the air and would have an aeroplane or a helicopter around who would shower all the water on the seeds. And when all the seeds would transform into plants or trees, so when they became heavy, they would all automatically fall, come on the ground and touch the ground, and they would grow independently. And that made me really wondered whether all these thoughts he would have
Wow.
been able to emote in the that kind of space. Yeah. So that's this is one kind of thing that I'm saying. There are many such kind of experiences that I share with him when he converses with me. So can anybody start up with your journey? Like what prompted you all to take this kind of step? Different thoughts of your kids, or just something else that prompted you to take this decision for your own child?
Such a beautiful way or out of the box way of thinking of growing plants on the clouds. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of each one. Each one of us are born with that creativity. So all as unschooling or all as parents, we need to do is to just not hamper the creativity which all of us are born with. That's what I feel about it. And I think Rashmi, you had some similar situation with your daughter.
Right.
Would you like to share?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, as Purvi, you said that children are like full of creativity. they always have so many ideas which are not structured in a box, right? So yeah, I mean, when my daughter used to go to school, she was like very creative, and being a born artist, she thinks in colors. She doesn't think in words. She doesn't think in numbers. So whatever teacher used to explain in the class, she used to draw a beautiful picture around it. And her writing was very creative. The way she used to write answers, it was very, very creative. But later, as she went into fifth standard, sixth standard, when exams came into the scene, it was like that her creativity was not fitting into the template, and that's how she was considered to be a non-attentive student, or not following instructions kind of a student. And on like every PTM, I used to get this feedback that your daughter just draws in the class, she doesn't pay attention, and she's not attentive. So when I actually used to go and see that what is she doing, so she doesn't used to draw any like random thing. She used to draw the answer of that question. So yeah, I mean, that was something very strange for me, that why the system is so much restrictive, that if the student is not following any particular path or a particular style or a particular template, that student is labeled as a poor student. So similarly, I also had an experience with her socialization, that she's an introvert kid, which is okay. I mean, I'm also an introvert. So she is also an introvert child. So every time I used to get this feedback that she is not forthcoming, she is not contributing, she is not participating, she doesn't raise her hand. Even though she knows the answer, she just doesn't raise her hand, and she doesn't share her thoughts, everything. So back home, when I used to like ask her what happens, so she used to say that I mean, I just don't feel like sharing. Though I know the answer, I just don't feel like sharing. And why it is wrong? So between like 10 other students, I'm the one who knows the answer, but they want to share, and I don't want to share. So that triggered my thought process, that a child wants to learn. Every child is different, and every child wants to learn in his or her own way. So why to like limit their creative thinking? Why to limit their learning process? So she also used to say that, Mama, you know what? I mean, in art class, I just cannot choose my own colors. I just cannot choose my own design, because I have to do what the teacher says. If teacher says that this design goes with these particular colors, I have to follow teacher's instruction. So this is not the way I can express myself through colors. So why is this? Though she used to get 10 on 10 on every her artwork, she used to be unsatisfied, and very sad about it, that Mama, even though I've got 10 on 10 on this project, I'm still not satisfied, because this is not the way I wanted to do it. So yeah, I mean, that triggered lots of questions within me also. I mean, is this the way my child will continue to learn, or is there any other way? And at the same time, my son was also growing up, so I was inquiring for her preschool, her nursery, his preschool, and the entire scene was not very good scene, that I could not get that confidence that my children will grow intellectually in this setup. Yeah, so yeah, yes, Kiran.
So very rightly said, and it is so beautiful the way you expressed about Abhita, that the way she thought in colors and in pictures,
Yeah,
and it is such a unique thing. This is one thing which I found missing in our system, in our schooling system. So there's a lot of typecasting. You have to fit into that system. So even if the child's personality is not in a certain way, they must adapt a lot and leave behind a lot of their uniqueness in order to do that. And that wasn't okay with me either. because like my daughter was unique in her schedule. For example, so she's a night person, so her brain cells function to their maximum in the night. When she wants to read, she's very curious, she wants to ask a lot of questions, but that happens in the night somehow. So
Can I just
naturally
interrupt
she
you,
would.
Kiran?
Sure.
Yeah, almost all the children are night people. I mean, they are very much high on energy during night.
During night, for
Yeah.
some reason, probably because the whole household has settled by then, everyone is available. So, in fact, when we took this call to homeschool or unschool, finally we had such amazing time, family time. Once my husband came back home, of course, corporate life, so he would come back late. So she got such a lot of time with him. We had so much family time because there was no pressure of, oh, आज तो जल्दी सुना है फिर कल school है. So, that would actually interrupt a lot of the natural flow of the family life also. So, yeah, this was another unique aspect, which you're saying is not so unique because so many kids are night people.
Yeah.
Yeah, listening to both of you, I also remember that my son, who is 14 years old now, Sumed, he has gone to school up to the grade 7, and so from the last 1.5 years we have been unschooling. And in school he was always tagged as this shy person who cannot socialize. He only answers when asked, so he cannot initiate a conversation. But when what I see, what happened in this 1.5 years of unschooling and not so burdening tagging on him, he has become this friendly person who can initiate a conversation, and no one can tag him as shy anymore. So it also has to do with so much of comparison which happens in the school. Like if 7th grade, he's a short person, so 7th grade he has to be this tall, and for 8th grade he has to know something. So all this comparison and references, measures have been taken off from his life now, and so he's so happy to be his own skin. And recently he took a decision that I want to do, because I'm 14 years now. I want to appear for my 10th grade from NIOS. So this is a decision which came from him, like only 2 days back. Like we heard him say that. So now it's up to us to facilitate that his process of going through that certification of getting a 10th grade is smoother. And also we also asked him what are your reasons for now opting for, because it didn't come from me or my husband. So what are your reasons to opt for an NIOS? He said that it's not necessary to have, but it is good to have. So why not? And I have the time now. So this was his simple outlook towards it, and I think it's fair enough if he thinks that he wants to go and pursue it. So yeah. I think Seema also has some similar stories like that.
Yeah. So I have two incidences. One was when Hia was entered the school, and we have been observing her till her 4th year. We were observing that she is a very fast learner. Whatever she learns, she memorizes it very fast. So she could recollect about 100, 200 flags of a country, and almost all animal species, their habitats. And we were like, a 4-year-old kid is doing so much. And when you go to school, they are put up to ABCD 1 2 3, and then she comes back and she only narrates, I played this and I got this friend. What about studies? No answers. So somewhere we felt that she was getting bored because she was not getting challenges to her own potential. So we had asked the principals, if she is capable to go ahead, what is the procedure in the current education system? And the principal said, no, there's nothing like that. She has to go grade wise. I said, but there are 14-year-old MBBS who are performing surgeries. We hear of 15, 16-year-old PhD holders. So how do they get it? And the principal is like, no, you don't know how much of effort parents have to put in. So I said, as a parent, I am ready to put in anything for my single child. and I'll do anything to make sure that she goes and gets what is her potential. And as an educational institute, I expect you to guide me through that process. You know, what will happen? How should we go about that? And the principals were like, no, it doesn't happen. So here you have people who are already doing such things. And as an education system, I'm getting an answer which is completely no. They're not ready to accept that, you know, a child's potential can be really boosted by some other ways rather than just going by syllabus. And the second incident which we had was just before we had almost decided that we will pull her out. Today she is 14 years, and this was when she was in the fourth grade. So she's a very good athlete. So she used to always get gold medals up to her first and second standard. Suddenly in this fourth standard, we saw that she's like, no, I'm not going to win this year. I was like, what happened? And then she's like, okay, this girl is running this year, and she will definitely. Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Okay. So that time, this was the year when she actually did not win, and we could see that on the sports day, there was a girl who was quite ahead. And we figured out this girl was getting trained professionally in a sports academy. So again, we went back to the sports sir and we said, what is the fun in having a state level champion run with the other students? So he's like, so we can't tell her that, you know, you go away. She also has to get equal opportunities. And we were like, she's a state level champion. If you make her run with the other people, everybody's morale goes down. Can't you make that champion as a guide for the school? She can become a mentor. Her morale would be boosted. But there was an outright no, because, you know, there's a set pattern which is followed in the current education system, and it's very difficult to get even these small changes being done, which actually should be the role of education system. You know, you understand the child and make facilities so that her potential is actually given that chance to blossom. And when you don't get to see that, then for us it was an obvious choice, let's move out.
Yeah, true.
So,
Agree with you, Seema.
yeah.
Completely. The same thing when I feel that when you're in the schooling system, it becomes difficult to then cater to the personal needs and which are the utmost important that we think
Yeah.
have to be shown off.
Right,
And then
right.
again, it's the sorted system. The ones which are growing will be growing. The ones which are growing will always be growing or undergrown.
Yes.
It's
Right,
always
right.
the same thing. So it's like, that's what I wanted to know. How as mothers, how did you all take that bold step, or what mental preparation you all went through as a family or as an individual first? I think that is what even I feel like. As I at times I have to think about it, it feels like I have to first prepare myself so much, then I can put forward in front of my family or my husband. Or what kind of sequencing you all went into the taking the decision?
Okay. So since I'm continuing, I'll say that, you know, for me, it was my husband changed first, and he was already in lot many alternative kind of people who have done something which are very different. The first acquaintance which we had was with an IITian family, and they were homeschooling their children. And we said, how come you are homeschooling? What is homeschooling? And you are yourself an IITian, and you have gone through Stanford, and you have been through all over the world, and you are teaching. So how come your kids are homeschooled? He said, this is the exact reason why my children are homeschooled, because I am so much educated. If I can't educate my own children, what's the worth of my education? And this was a game changer for us. And after that also, we took almost 6-7 months meeting lot many parents, lot many educators, principals, teachers, people who have achieved something in life, asking them, you know, really, did the degrees work for you? Even for us, like I have worked for 20 years in the corporate field, and apart from my first job, nobody ever asked me, you know, show me your degrees, show me your marks, show me how much did you score so that you can do better in this company. So somewhere then, you know, this thought was sinking in, you know, degrees, really, do they matter? And you are putting up your 20 years to achieve that degree, and after 20 years of your corporate career, you want to really come out of it and think that, you know, is my life really worth it? So why not give my child that chance now and let her explore now? So this was it. And then there are a lot of resources which are available online, which you can I think Rashmi and all have already collated a lot of resources, so that would be shared with all, right?
Okay.
Rashmi?
Yes, yes, we can share that.
Yeah, yeah, we will share that. For sure.
And
Yeah, so
when it comes to
are you done, Seema, or you want to
Yes,
say
yes,
something?
I'm done. You can
Okay.
continue.
Yeah, so Purvi, I also had like similar experience. Like as I said, that Abhita is very creative, and it is very, very, very clear to her since like she was 5 or 6 years old that she wants to be an artist. She said that I want to be an artist and I want to be a nurse. So now also now she is 14 and she is like grown up enough to understand everything. But now also she says that I want to be a nurse and an artist. So she used to ask me questions that, Mama, if I want to be an artist, why do I need to study science? Why can't I directly go to a art college and study arts? Why do I need to study maths? When I'm very clear that I want to be an artist, why do I need to study math? So yeah, I mean, her questions, schooling system, it was like combination of so many things that yeah, I mean, she was whatever she was saying was also right. Whatever is going into school was also right. So I was very confused at what do I do now, because I could feel that she just doesn't enjoy studies. She just enjoys sports and arts. So what do I do? Do I just let her continue this academics till her graduation and then send her to art college, school, or what do I do exactly? So meanwhile, I also started researching lots of on child's brain, psychology, study system, schooling system. So during that research, I came to know that there are certain periods of development. It's a general survey though, but still, I mean, I found it very much related in case of my children's development. So there are certain periods of every child's development. For example, between 3 to 5, age 3 to 5 years, child's brain is developing, and that's how he is very inquisitive and he wants to explore everything around him. So after 5 till almost age of 10 or 11, child is practicing um, uh, uh, human behavior. He is modeling, he is trying to copy human behavior. So that's how he is learning. Again, he is learning from other people around him. And then after the age of 13 or 14, he is trying to explore his social world around him. Like he is more social. So the girl who was like labeled as an introvert in the class is now so talkative and so forthcoming. When she goes out, she can introduce him or herself on her own without me prompting her, and she is no longer a shy girl. So that's what I came to know, that every child needs to be given a certain period of time to develop all the skills. It cannot be done in all the skills cannot be developed in 1 year, right? I mean, when the child is small, you cannot expect that child to be creative, logical, socially active, good in sports, good in all the subjects, good in all the logical and creative subjects. It cannot be done. So yeah, Rupali wants to say something.
yeah, well, Rashmi, something similar to yours. I mean, when we were already kind of living a different life in the sense that we had taken a sabbatical to travel around, and that year and a half of being on a sabbatical as a couple without a child. During that stage itself, we were pondering over life and discussing a lot about how we are more connected to our jobs. We want to do something else, and apart from the fields that we were educated to work in, and that kind of also led us to think that schools are becoming more and more factories, and where products are just they're all lookalikes, and they're all they don't have unique identities, and they're just coming out. And so when Vallari came into our life, we conceived her, she came into our life.
We did a lot of reading and active research into education systems that are available. The latest research in child psychology, in learning, education, and all that. We came across people like Ken Robinson, Peter Gray, John Holt, and we also a lot of Indian people like Mr. Painse is there. Mashelkar himself says that schools are, Professor Mashelkar. These people said, were pointing at the same direction that we internally kept feeling, that this is where we should be going. And there was a lot of family resistance, obviously. Me and my husband were on the same page on this. But when there was family resistance, one thing that helped me, Purvi, is this, that, first of all, we were really crystal clear with our logic, with our thoughts. And so we knew that even if there is a family resistance, we were still going to go ahead in spite of it and unschool Vallari. Yet we gave our family members the time, and we had the patience to include them in our post-meal discussions, post-dinner discussions, and talk about this topic over and over again. Make them see videos, or make them meet people who are already on this path. And I think eventually they kind of joined us in our decision. And so we are now a team of people who believe in this philosophy, and we are all on the same page. So if that hopefully answers your question.
So Purvi,
Yes.
one
Yeah.
main thing is gather a lot of information and talk to as many people as you can on this topic.
Okay.
Yeah, and the community is just growing rapidly. The community of homeschoolers and unschoolers and
The lockdown has increased the numbers, I think. It's a very apt time that it has come, and it's come at the right time for me also, because I'm getting time, a special time to spend with him. And coincidentally, we are in the interiors right now in Gujarat. So there are so many things he's saying. I don't know how will I practically, because all those things are not available in proper city, like kind of a thing. So now when he's saying a lot of houses are being made around, so he wants to get into construction. Then there's a painter who's residing next to our house. So he wants to paint along with him. He's like, I'll be traveling with him all the houses and painting the houses. So those kind of things I'm getting to know about him, and that's all the more prompting me to. And I don't know, in front of elders it becomes a little difficult to do all these things.
Yeah,
because you have a lot of societal pressures. We say, how can you do this right now? You're too small. मतलब हर एक चीज के लिए वही आता है, like you're too small, it is not possible. उसको tools के साथ करना है, मतलब पूरा practical life करना है. He doesn't want to have it in a toy form also.
Yeah, if you can see this wall behind me, this has been painted by Sumed and his friends. So all of them are under 14 years of age. So even my 6.5-year-old, even he has helped. Like it was a very different color then, and the whole process of
trying shades.
Yes.
Hello. Purvi, about how Dhyan is so interested and keen in doing so many things, and very true. This lockdown has made many people really question the traditional mode of living, and because the system is there, we all kind of just rely on it. No one really stops to think and question. But this lockdown has made so many people think back and question, अरे लाइफ ऐसे भी होती है और ऐसे भी हो सकती है. बच्चे घर पर तो हैं ही by default, and now they are also experiencing.
And 2-3 hours of studying is more than enough. Yes, exactly. And 2-3 hours. Yes.
You don't have to be sitting in a brick and mortar building for the 6 hours. The whole world is yours. There's no limits. There's no bounds. And the kind of things that kids are doing these days, all the kids, I would say, is so amazing and so heartwarming. That
as far as elders are concerned, Purvi, they are going to raise questions, because for them school equals to study, and study equals to making career, and career is getting job, and that's how you settle into your life. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I also had to go through so many questions, like if if you don't send your children to school, how will they study? So my answer used to be, if I don't send them to the school, that's how they will study. Yeah, बच्चा स्कूल नहीं जाएगा तो पढ़ेगा कैसे? तो I used to say कि बच्चा स्कूल नहीं जाएगा तो ही पढ़ेगा. स्कूल में जाके तो
बराबर.
स्कूल में जाके तो खाली सिलेबस कंप्लीट करके आ जाएगा.
Very
Child
true.
child will not learn actually.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now that Valerie and me are, all of us in the family, we have shifted to the village. And for the first 3 years, she was in the village. She was so close to nature. The things that we observed in the last 6 years of Valerie's life is that Valerie's, any child actually is born with an innate tool, which is called the curiosity, curious as a cat. And so that leads them to learn everything around them. And we as parents are their role models, obviously. They're picking up everything that we do. So we ourselves are very active, curious about life in general. And we're as into life, whether it's about talking about stars or farming, about bugs or anything, it could be anything. But the thing we realize is that this is an age, honestly, we've seen her be standing next to a plant and standing there for like, an hour or so, or half an hour. I mean, I do some work and she's still standing there. I come back and I find her standing there. I don't know what she's observing, but there is this moment where she's silent, quiet in nature. She's touching things, she's feeling things, she's connecting with the cows, the births of the calves, the plants. She's, it's an amazing life when her senses, like touch and feel and seeing the greenery and everything, that is getting stimulated. And she's constantly learning, and her questions are coming from the environment. And herself, the question, go for a walk and she asks us small questions like, what are these poles in the middle of the road? And you tell them it's an electric pole. And like, how does electricity come through this? And then you take that further. It's about then going down, taking that question and then together exploring it, not becoming this Gyani and saying, I know, I'll tell you everything. Rather than saying, oh, that's a fantastic question. Let's go, exploring it. And you go exploring it in not just this one standard medium, which is Google, internet, but also making her aware that there are many resources to explore and find answers. It could be about, if she has questions about birds and she's observed a bird and a typical behavior, we immediately connect her to a person who is an expert in bird watching. And then she knows that this Uncle Gopal Kaka, call Gopal Kaka, I have a question about hummingbirds. And she'll just call up promptly and ask that question. So she has got to know that there are more than many resources of finding information. And her own ability to absorb knowledge from the environment like a sponge is right now really, really super active. And I can't imagine putting that off, switching that off by keeping that child, always in this one particular standard environment of a walled school classroom, So that's my take.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rupa. Sorry, I was just thinking, mother of a 3.5-year-old, wondering, where you get, as you said, you connected her to a resource person. So that is what I was, thinking on my mind, that what about when they need? Because I, as a person, as a parent, will not be able to cater to all the skills and resources, which you kind of get hold of in a school or an institution. So how do we, kind of cater to that?
Yeah, so I can share as a mother of a teenager now. So when she was around 11, so that time she had started showing a lot of love for animals. And we as parents both are very scared of any animal. So we don't like pets at home. And she was pestering for a pet, which was common across, I think, every home. I think every child at that age wants a pet. And we wanted to know how much really she wants it. And then we said, okay, why don't you work at a pet center? So we made her go and volunteer at a rescue care center in Pune. And there she did almost about 4 or 5 months of volunteering, weekly twice, for full day. So she used to take care of all the puppies and all. And after that, we made her work at a spa, a pet spa. So she got a knowledge of both the zones, then she could her inner voice told her, no, I don't want to actually take, groom the pets. I really want to take care of the pets. So maybe I can become a vet, or I can actually open up my own care center, or I can actually look for a street dogs and cats and all. So I really don't need to have a pet at my place. I can adopt all the street pets. And you won't believe, even today when she goes down, almost 10 street dogs are on her, and we are away. Then at the age of 13, when she said, I want to do baking, I want to learn how to make food, and she was already doing very good, learning from YouTube and cooking her own recipes. Then she started saying, I want to open up my own cafe. We went to Auroville, and she loved the cafes over there. And she said, I want to start such cafe. I said, okay. We started hunting for cafes who would let her learn by volunteering inside the cafe. So 4 of them denied, and because she was a child, so they are afraid that it's child labor. Though we were giving all assurances, in fact she can pay you because you are teaching her and you are a school for her. Fortunately, we got one such person who allowed her to work in a cafe, and that too for a very long time, from morning 10 till night 11 o'clock. This was the new year time, so they actually needed hands. And that volunteering was amazing because she got to work on the billing software. She was working as a waiter, as a table care, everything. So you talk about personal skills, you talk about talking to people, taking their demands, handling egos of people, managing teams, all these things which are important life skills today and not taught by any schools, is what she got by volunteering, just asking for it. So you have to look for your own, there's a thing that you have to ask and the universe will give you. So this is what homeschoolers learn at school. They have a set panel. Okay, these are the people whom I need to ask, and those people many a times don't have answers, whereas here they get all the answers, and if they don't get it, they keep seeking. So I think this is what is important. I felt this has really helped her.
Yeah, very true,
Yes.
Seema.
Oh.
Even with Anaya, I've observed that she taught herself to swim, which was unimaginable. And this happened right after we took the call to homeschool, and she had all the time in the day to do whatever she wanted. She chose to go into the pool twice a day. So we would go once in the afternoon, then come back, take a shower, and shortly after that, again, she would be there. And she would practice and do so many things. I was just there to motivate her and say, hey, good going, keep going, like awesome. And I think within a month or little more than that, she had taught herself most of it. And just in the end, I took her once to the deep side and she told me, Mama, throw me. So I just took her and I left her. She said, no, I want you to pick me up and throw me into the water. So I did that once and then she came swimming to me. So it's almost like she decides what she wants to learn. She tells how she wants to learn, and all I have to do is listen, absorb, and try to be there the way she wants me to be there. So this was one example of how she led her own learning without really having any physical coach, but just someone who believes in her. So,
Actually, I also have a similar experience to share. So my son is now 3.5. So I had this question, like when I was in the process of homeschooling Abhita. So at that time, I thought that it's okay. I mean, Abhita is still 12 or 13 and she has learned quite a lot of skills, right? And Abhang is just like 2 or 2.5 or 3. And then how will he learn to write? How will he learn to read? How will he learn to like recognize colors, shapes, those basic skills? How will it be taken care of without a structured learning system or a school? But I thought that let's wait until he's 5 and then see. So I decided to wait until he's 5 or 6. And in the process, it is so amazing and wonderful to see that he's learning all these skills on his own. Like he could not hold the pen till he was 2. But now, I mean, I was a lot after him that this is how you hold the pen, this is how you hold the pencil, and this is how you write. And he was just not able to do that. But now, after he's 3, suddenly he came to me and he drew A. And he said that, Mama, see, what is this? So I said, this is A. Oh, this is A. So that's how he learned. Like, for him, letters are not to read, letters are to draw. So somehow I feel that over a period of time, as their brain develops, they develop the skills, they develop all the required skills on their own. So during this process, I also thought that who taught him to chew, who taught him to walk, who taught him to speak. He learned everything on his own, right? So he will also learn to read and write and recognize colors and shapes, and everything will be taken care of. Yeah.
Listening to you all, it's so encouraging and it's just bringing smile to my face because it's going so naturally. I mean, the way relaxed moms answering. I mean, had it been with my school going moms का circle, अरे ये that would have been ऐसी तो relax वाली बातें या chit chat session नहीं होता था जो अभी मैं
Right.
experience कर रही हूँ.
So Purvi, I also
It would have been
used
only centered to exam, school, and test,
Right,
and I
right.
don't know what else. I'm not part of any of those groups, frankly.
Yeah, I guess we have also been there
we
because,
have been there like
yeah,
parties.
as a stressed mom
Yeah, as a stress mom.
and meeting another stress-free unschooling mom, and then the world opens
Actually.
up like, that is possible. Wow, how do you do it? Tell me. And
Yeah, I
then
mean,
step by
during
step, we
those
also found our way through this. Of course,
during those conversation, we only used to gossip for like about teachers and school system and इसका बेटा ऐसा तो उसका बेटा वैसा उसने ऐसा किया उसने वैसा किया, and that's all, and that's all. But
Yeah.
like chatting with like homeschooling mothers or unschooling mothers is so encouraging and inspiring that we also learn something. Not only our
Exactly.
children learn, but we also learn.
I think we have a question from Neha. She's saying, what if you feel your child is not very motivated to learn and very relaxed? Do you think letting the child be is a good idea?
I would like to take this up. I don't know where exactly I would be answering it or no, but my mother tongue is Kannada, and I was being a teacher myself. I wanted my son to know how to read and write Kannada, and I've been trying to teach him since grade 1. Come on, let's say it. Oh, playway method. Let's do this. So see, it's so nice, round and round like jalebi. You can do it, and all those, all drama and everything we have tried, but never that motivation to learn it came from him. So he didn't go beyond aha. That is the swaras. So we never could reach the Vyanjan part of it. So now into the we started off in 2019, yeah. And one day I was doodling my name in all the languages I know, that is Kannada, Hindi, and English. And he happens to see that, and he asked me, "Oh, this is Ma, Anupama Ma." So he knows his name in Kannada, which is Sumed, May. Okay, so the Ma converts into May this way. So he pictorially he liked it. So that's how he asked me, "Can you tell me the different forms the Ma can take?" So within 2 days of 10 minutes or 20 minutes each of having this fun with the different formation of Kannada letters, he almost can write, read, and recognize those things because he wanted to do it. So the self motivation came from him. But I know when we started off as suddenly we came from the schooling structured system to this totally non-structured, not a system, unsystem. What happened is they thought, okay, ye to vacation hai. This is like vacation, and I can do whatever I want the whole day. I'm going to just have lots and lots of fun. I don't mean that fun and being relaxed doesn't have any learning in it, but yeah, they do have the learning. but over a period of time, when I didn't intervene and say, okay, this is too much of relaxing, go do something now, go do something productive, or too much of screen time, why don't you just off the this and maybe take a book and read. And I used to do that earlier, because as a schooling parent earlier, I had that, arey kuch nahi kar raha hai, like now he needs to do something that's not productive what he's doing. That keep creeping into it. But once I stood back and just let them, yeah, there was a time of total relaxing, total screen time, but slowly, steadily, they found their rhythm. They found the things they wanted to do. Like he started cooking again. So today, like he'll come and say, "Today, can I do this today?" So I told, "It's up to you. You can start cooking," because he loves cooking. So same thing with my 6.5-year-old. He just his tab is on, and I don't know what's playing in it, but he has started some other game of make believe, of pretend play, and he's making us building a story around it. So uh, if at all I didn't have this patience or and trust and letting them be and follow their own routine, maybe it's relaxing, unproductive, whatever my mind said, they wouldn't have reached this. Even now, they would be maybe waiting for me to police them and say, okay, now it's time, now it's story time, now it's study time, now it's eating time. So there are no this time and that time in my house right now. So I hope this answers that, or anybody who wants to add in more can take it.
Yeah, I could add a little bit to this. Uh, so we found that 20 all this whole waking hour, right from the moment she would wake up. So when earlier she would, she did not have to wake up and get her teeth brushed in a hurry, drink her milk in a hurry, and rush to a van, nothing like that. So she would be actually lying on her bed, and I would see her getting into this thinking zone, and sometimes getting up and sharing stories about her dreams or something, or she would just be wondering, looking at the ceiling and stuff. And over a period of time, I saw that she took interest in practically everything. She was always doing her own thing, yes, of course, but whatever the adults were doing, she was always interested in doing that. So if I'm standing at the kitchen, unlike, yes, not if a maid is doing cooking. If a maid is cooking, she won't go anywhere near. But if I am cooking something, she would definitely pull up a table, and she would, adjust her height, and she would want to see it. And huh? Yeah, and also with her grandmother. So that prompting from my husband. Yeah. So she was very interested in observing things that were being done around. So it was whether she was my mother-in-law would peel her mutton or vegetables or whatever, making a fruit salad or whatever, she would want to do those things, and we never passed on our apprehensions on her. We never said, oh, well, taking a knife is unsafe, or standing next to a gas or working with oil is unsafe. So she actually can now, she can give bagar, fodni, whatever we call it, and she can actually do that. She makes her own sabzi. The moment she's here, sees that, okay, there is a sabzi that I want to invent today, or I want to make today, and whatever we have prepared, she'll pick up things, a little bit of tomato, a little bit of that vegetable, a little bit of potato. She'll add that potato in everything, and she'll make her own. So she has a little pan, and that she'll put that up, and she'll start her own cooking. And she now can tell you the recipe for everything from a tea to an omelette to a vegetable. But also another thing is that I have seen that if I'm busy doing something, okay, if I'm sitting with a mobile, she will think that this is what the adults do, and this is what she will indulge in doing, because they are always thinking that I am to adapt to the adult world. I want to grow up and be what they are doing and do what they're doing. And obviously, when you do a certain activity, that is what they will do. This is what I observe. So if I sit for painting, she'll sit for painting, and she will do that for hours. No mobile time during that time. If I'm farming, and nothing can hold her back. She comes behind and she'll farm, and it's amazing her energy lasting through this entire tedious and laborious work. And so we've observed that we as parents,
we don't initiate. Kia, Valerie, let's do this, let's do that. If I sit with a book, she'll be like, can you read me a book as well? You know, I want to read too. So there are times when, let's say, I'm telling her, Valerie, I have to read something which is really important. So she can't read yet. So she'll pick up a book, sit next to me, and she will just keep leafing through the book and seeing the pictures and, you know, making her own story there and my own logical story and figure out what the storybook could possibly be about. And so, yeah, I think one of the things that we realize is that they have these ways of engaging with the environment around them. And they also have their time when they want to do a particular activity for hours. And that luxury is something that you don't get in a typical school and the tuition routine. That is lost. And we have seen the most amazing creative stuff coming out of her. And not just one thing, not just about painting. It's not just about cooking. It's in a zillion, you know, areas, anything she indulges in. And we see that it's not restricted. Her creativity is not restricted. It's a very natural, inborn thing that just blooms in everything that you do.
Absolutely, Rupa. Thank you so much. And what I hear and I take from you is, as a young parent, that we will all have our fears and ups and downs. I think we also need to go through this process and not get jittery and, you know, give up so easily. Because with all of us together as a community and a support system, I think it helps to stay connected and share or vent our you know, concerns also, that maybe what my 3.5-year-old daughter you know, is going through, or sharing that, is that okay? So I think, yes, I need to be on with all of us so that we kind of cater through it. Yeah. So
At
thank
this
you.
point, I would like to add something.
Please.
Is that we must also acknowledge at the same time that there are many kids who love going to school and for whom imagining life without school is absolutely difficult. So in that case, we could take a little bit, you know, like best of both worlds and try and inculcate like an unschooling philosophy as a parent as such, wherein we don't really get into this mode, but open our eyes and let our children also explore the time that they are with us at home or when we are traveling. So we could have best of both worlds. It's not that you have to just jump from one wagon to another. It's not that at all. But it's about opening our minds, first of all, and our hearts to being parents and what it truly means to parent in that essence. So education is one aspect of parenting, but that doesn't take away the parenting from whichever mode of education that we choose. So just that one point I wanted to say.
Yeah, there are actually some schools.
I wanted to add something.
Yeah, just a minute, Rupari. So there are some schools coming up which support both, like natural learning and structured learning. So there is a school in Pune, DLRC, which supports, I mean, they have lots of options to choose subjects from. And then they have a very different style of teaching. So yeah, school is also adopting this concept now. Yes, Rupa.
Yeah, Rashmi, not just DLRC, across I think many cities, there are these schools and centers which have come up, which are called as alternative education systems.
Alternative education systems.
Yeah, so like, you know, or Krishnamurti schools, or could be like, you know, Swadha kind of place in Pune.
Yes.
Jignasa is one very good place in Pune. And these are very small teacher to student ratios. They take very limited number of students so that they can focus on the needs of every child. So that's important to have. So these kind of centers are good. So, you know, there could be a issue with a lot of people coming out of school, which we also faced, which was how they miss their friends. So whenever we had to take this decision, always it used to stick on that thing, you know, mere friends ka kya hoga? I said, "Arey, friends ka kuch nahi hoga. You can meet them after school." Anyways,
I think someone has asked that question about friends as well.
How do they develop friends?
That is something which I have been, because it's the 5th year of our unschooling, and we have observed that many a time she sits sadly and she says, "I don't have friends." I said, even in school, the only time you got to speak your heart with your friends was in the recess, the breaks, or maybe the sports. Even in the sports, they are not allowed to chit chat in a corner. So, if you really want to socialize, then you have to go out, meet people, make some friends. So, join centers, join your hobby centers, find your passions, go and maybe, if she loves guitar, she was doing a guitar class. She did not like the classroom atmosphere, so she came on YouTube. She made friends in the LSUC group. It's an annual gathering of homeschoolers and schoolers which happens. So she met a lot of people there and online. Kiran, so Kiran has taken her into music jams, and then she tries to learn online. So most of her things are online, and she makes online friends. Many a times they go and meet each other, stay at each other's place. So for homeschoolers, I think it's not just making friends in your own age group, which is very important when you go out in the real world. So she can actually make friends across age groups, even with uncle and aunt. The one thing which she has learned is she calls them all by names. So some people in conventions, they get slightly, why is your daughter calling us names? And then it was like, because she thinks you as a friend, and it helps. And she best is with homeschooler families. You can just, it's like an extended family. So even the tribe is an extended family. Tomorrow if I say, Kiran, Hia wants to come and stay at your place, I think there is always a yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that's
Absolutely.
the beauty. It's not just, it's a deep relation and connections which happen with the entire family, which is
So,
enjoying.
yeah,
Yes.
so when Abita was in the process of shifting from schooling to homeschooling, her only apprehension was, then I will not have any friends.
Yeah.
Because I have best friends in the school whom I'm studying since my first standard, and if I leave the school, then whom I'll play with or be with or share my life with.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I was just conversing with a homeschooling mom, and I shared this concern with her, and she said that, I mean, I really like what she said. She said that why school needs to be there to find her friends. I mean, why she needs to find her friends in the school? She can find her friends anywhere in the world. I mean, she can travel around, she can meet people, and whomever she feels tuned with, she can be friends with them. The school is not the only place where she can find friends or her peers or her social networking. Let her social networking not restrict only to the school. Let it spread
True.
around. And now,
And
yeah,
even
I mean,
with
yeah, now she has
yeah,
lots of friends. I mean, a very good friend of her is Ashita. For her, Ashita is her friend. Priyal is her friend. Monali is her friend. Kiran is her friend. She doesn't look at them as aunties. She, she says that they are my friends. I feel so at home with them. So
I
yeah,
was just about to say that, it's the friendship, or, the social circle need not be your age group. It's
right. Yeah,
across ages. So,
it's across
yeah,
ages. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, Kiran. Sorry, Rupa wanted to say something
yeah.
earlier. Rupa, do you want to come in now, please?
Yes, of course. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So one of the things that is really important here is trust, and um so I realized that, if I, can do we also, as humans, do we trust a stranger that easily? We don't. Obviously, we don't. So the same way, this particular aspect of unschooling or homeschooling, until we do not understand the philosophy, until that philosophy uh, is not very clear to us, no, then we don't easily trust our child, or its learning instincts. But the moment you know what you're doing and you're really clear about it, do all it takes. Attend co-ops, meet parents who are on this path. We went to these wonderful, sessions or LSUC gatherings where we saw children who were unschooled all their life, and they have turned out to be such amazing young awesome kids. Yeah, and you were like, oh wow, this is cool, this is so reassuring as a parent, and you're like amazed to talk to these kids. So obviously you feel, the moment you're an assured parent, it's easy for you to trust your child, whether it is with whatever activity they may be doing. it could be watching a mobile. You will still trust that no matter what they're doing it out of right now whatever they are feeling the most, as they're calling, their instinct. And nothing is permanent. I mean, there are times when there are phases where they are doing this screen time a lot, but trust me, it will pass. It's about giving them an alternative. So if you don't want your child to do something that you don't that you're not necessarily finding agreeable, then you just take up a board game or call your child out for gardening or for a game of badminton, and they would want to do that with you. Go out for walks and for climbing tekeries or trekking or whatever, and do. I mean, we found Vallari to be an excuse to expand our horizon, to add more colors to our own life, because it allowed us to be a child again as a parent, as a grown up. It allowed us to see the world all over again with a lot of more amazement, a lot more with new set of eyes, I guess. So but also another thing is see Valerie not as our responsibility, that we have to turn her up into some this thing and that kind of personality. No, she's our partner in life. She's the person who walks by our side in life, and if we are enjoying our life while we're walking, she'll enjoy it too. If we are happy people in life and celebrating everything, simple, small, everything, then she will too. Whether it is relationships, whether it is meeting all kinds of people, whether it is indulging in things that are new and challenging, difficult, she'll do that too. As simple.
Yeah,
Totally agree with you, Rupali. Yes.
With Rupa, I have this experience. Valerie was just 5 years, and imagine a 5-year-old running around that LSUC space, which had about 700 people, all alone, and she would catch hold of any elder because she considers all of them as friends. And she would say, Seema, I want to have some coffee. And I was like, okay, so paisa de do. And she would go. And I can't imagine here at that age, because she was into that conventional system. Even today, with our own family people, she won't ask. She won't go and say, uncle, mujhe ye khana hai, wo khana hai. But in LSUC, they were like, everybody's friends. So if they no money, nothing, they don't bother, kisi se paisa maang rahe hain, kya kar rahe hain. It's like, I think Rupa was free. So as a parent, if you are into this community and the way the children are raised out normally without really understanding money as, the culprit, and they just connect. They don't wait for parents to be around. They will just catch hold of anybody. They know how to get their things met, their needs met. Yeah.
And remember, Seema, the way Rupa was with when Valerie was playing Holi with the kids in the streets of Bikaner.
Yes.
So we were in Bikaner post the LSUC meet. Rupa, Seema, myself.
Sorry, Kiran, can we know what LSUC is? Because
it's Learning
Just typing
Society.
it in the chat. It's learning. Yeah. Somebody asked, so I'm typing it in the chat. Yeah.
Learning Society's unconference. So people on the alternate paths, like it's very difficult for us to initially find community. So this space is very, very sacred and dear to us. And this year I was fortunate to be there. Thanks to Seema, Rupa, you guys took such great care of us to actually make it there. So yeah, we spent time in Bikaner post LSUC, and it was the time of Holi. And the children in the streets were playing Holi, and where we were staying basically. And Valu saw them and she was all excited and she wanted to go down. And Rupa was like all for it. In fact, Prasad was like, go have a look. Where is she? And Rupa is like, don't worry. She knows her way around. And she really had such a blast, Valu. So yeah, this incident came to my mind.
Yeah, so that's the best part of homeschooling community, that as a parent, you are totally free because your child is everybody else's child. I mean, I still remember Ahmedabad trip, Ashita, where we all had gone and we all had children with us. and still all of us were free. Nobody like cared about our child as such. Like उसने खाना खाया क्या, सोया क्या, because we knew that our child will be taken care by somebody. And then we saw Priya, she was sitting and she was feeding all the children, not only her daughter but all the children together. So other moms were totally free that one mom is taking care of all the children's food and other mom is totally free. So that's the beauty of this community, that you just like step in for a small help, you will be like overflowed. Yeah.
And it is not planned. It all happens.
It all happens. Yeah, it all happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I know I hear so much fun and but what about the serious matter, in the sense, is there any kind of exams or curriculum? And there is also a difference between a homeschooling community as an unschooling community, right? Or are they kind of overlapping frames or terms that we tend to use?
Okay, so I can take that because I have moved, my journey has moving from schooling to homeschooling, then unschooling. So she was in school, and when we quit in the 4th grade, she already had the books for the 5th grade. So our understanding was not so much into this entire process. So what we thought was, let her complete all her 5th grade syllabus. So we brought the school home. So that's called homeschooling, wherein you just follow that curriculum and make sure that your child has gone through it. There were no exams, but the way to make sure was, keep asking her to do the exercises at the end of the page, end of the syllabus, and keep asking her questions, trying to sit with her, making her write, making her read. And that was horrible because I am not a good teacher, though I go to many MBA colleges to teach, but teaching a 4th grader was painful, and that to our own child. Everyday fights, every day. It was like a scenario where we are just pounding and howling and all. What is happening? Why are you not studying? What is the problem? Go back to school. So all this was happening, and then we started connecting back to the homeschoolers, the community, wherein Sharmila and Pradnya, many people who have been homeschoolers for years. So when you talk to them, lot of your fears, because this is not homeschooling is not, just bringing a school to your home. It's about a learning process, which is very different. And for that, the entire family has to go through an unlearning process, and they have to understand that this entire process is not just about bringing a child to a system which is already existing. You have inherently accepted that you are going out of this rat race, and then you want this person to actually go and understand everything. So all these things, all your fears start coming out, and when you have a community around you and you can throw that questions on them like we are doing today. So these people then consoled us. They said, at least let her be, because we also observed that the entire 5th standard syllabus Hia had completed in 2 months, all the subjects. And we were like, if 2 months में सब कुछ हो जाता है तो हम एक साल क्यों भेजते हैं उसको? So then we said, okay, next 8 months now you are free to do what you want. And then there were a lot of places wherein she was getting bored. And again, as John Holt or Peter Gray, they say that, boredom is actually giving the child the space to understand what her passion is. So this journey then became unschooling, wherein we allowed her to just get bored, just sit and do nothing. Because in that nothingness, she will actually be thinking, what actually I want to do, what actually makes me happy. Because that was the biggest vision that we had, that the child should be happy. Even we should be happy. And with homeschooling, the happiness was never there anywhere. So then, since then, we are unschooling. We are just allowing her, whenever she says, like I shared, whenever she says, okay, I want to learn cooking. So then let's find a cooking master. I want to learn to take care of pets. Okay, find a pet care center. In fact, we had a very good veterinary friend. So we allowed her to go and stay with the veterinary friend. So these are the ways. So now it's an unschooling journey. For the exams, yes, now it's the time she's 14. So NIOS allows you, and even IGCSE, they allow the child to give her exams for 10th grade once she is 14. So from 14 years onwards, now she's eligible to give the exams. So we said, ठीक है, degree लेना है ना, तो NIOS ले लेते हैं, खत्म करते हैं. So that was because she is a good learner. So we were sure that she would pass the exams. You know, passing exams is just 20% of the work. The learning has actually happened. So now she started looking at NIOS websites on her own. She chose her own subjects and she downloaded some content because then lockdown had started. So she downloaded content and then she found out that the content is not really a good content in her own terms because she's already learned so much through YouTube's that she felt this content, is content ko pass karke kya pass karna hai? That was her line. That, you know, is exam ko dekhe kya fayda hai? Because this content is nothing for me. And then I said, okay, if this is not challenging enough for you, look at IGCSE. And when she saw the subject list of IGCSE, she was thrilled. She said, there are 70 subjects to choose from. And then she started choosing her subjects there. She downloaded some curriculum of IGCSE now. So now it's her own journey. We are only there as a facilitator. And we just help her. If she's stuck somewhere, we'll find out a person who knows about IGCSE and they will guide her. Or someone who has given her IGCSE just last year. So that person is guiding her now. So it's a self, now it is called, from unschooling, now it has become a self-directed learning. So that is one more step ahead. That unschooling was what we were following, but for her, it is self-directed learning now. So I think these are the three terms that we will often use in this entire community. Yes.
So,
Even with
yeah, if I can say something.
Sorry?
Yes, my name is Rishabh. Actually,
Yes, Rishabh.
Yeah, I'm totally new to this group. This is the first time I'm attending this meeting. I'm with a part of a homeschooling group for a long time. The thing has happening is my daughter is going to IB school for the last 2 to 3 months. So far, we already in a plan like we'll be going for a homeschooling. But obviously, we have the questions like what will happen, how it goes ahead, and all this. The past couple of months since the lockdown, what we have observed is my daughter has started learning a lot of things by using the YouTube and some apps and all this. To her surprise, this is school coordinator. We told her that she's already learned how to spell and how to read and all these things. So now her schooling is going on, but the coordinator said whatever she knows, just for WhatsApp us, and we will just go through it and give you the reply. Though the structure of the school goes on at this pace, and even if she goes to school, they are not hampering her. So how does this system works at a higher levels? Because right now they're very accommodative. For being my child is around 4.5 now. She's learned the sign language to a certain extent. The reading, she reads the book now. School is accommodative so far, but then we have the query like when the stage comes, then it is good to start the homeschooling. Because right now, everything that we are having the idea that she should learn certain things by life skills, and though she's doing that, and even her schooling is not interfering into that. If she's learning, it's fine. We have a curriculum. We'll go through it, let her learn, and just give us the feedback on how far she has gone. So, like, this is something that that it makes us confused. Like, is the school is okay to send for the school, and how the homeschooling is different from this kind of environment that she's getting.
Hello. Yeah, Rashmi, do you want to kind of take it on?
Seema wants to take
okay.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Seema.
So your question is that your child has been given her choices to just be. I'm not very clear. What is your exact question that you want to know?
The question is, so my child has been given her choices since she's 2.5. She's going to the school because IB allows at 2.5. So initially we had this question like normal standard Indian board. So we know that how to write it. We thought of sending her to the IB that a certain way because at that time we were totally unaware of what the homeschooling is. So right now we are just researching down the line. So the school is so far allowing her to do whatever she wants to do. Even the cloud is green, doesn't matter. They allow her to do that. Even if she is now, like right now in the lockdown, she has learned the sign language using some YouTube videos that she has come across. So, and in this class, she uses it, and even the school allows her to use it and teach other students. Obviously, we are teaching her at the home from a very long time. Now she has gone up to a level of understanding the solar system, how it works, and all that. And the school is okay with it. They're like, even though they are going with their own structured curriculum and everything, but behind the lines, they are allowing the everything. Even we send across the videos and everything, they assess it, they give their feedbacks and all those things. So this makes a bit of confusing idea, like, is it okay or is it a temporary nature, what it is? Because I want to understand it from your experience. How
Yes. See, your child, I feel right now is very young. So that's why at this age, the schools definitely allow them. This is a settling time for the child as well as the school, wherein they will allow your child to get settled to the school atmosphere, to the school teachers. And that's why they allow them to do whatever they want to do so that they get comfortable in that new space. But as a parent, you have to be vigilant about the inherent needs of the child. If she really, as Rashmi had said earlier, if the child is really interested in painting, is she painting what she wants? Or, we are going through the same route of mountain banao, which is a triangle, and then make a sun, which is a round. So those things you will start looking at it over time. So this is what I can guess from whatever you are sharing right now. So you
because
have to be very vigilant about the needs of your child, what you are looking in her, and then is this school meeting those expectations?
yes, because what has happened is recently in the lockdown, she came across some AI app on the iPad, and
Yes.
she started using it and understanding the solar system, what are the different planets and all those things. She
Okay.
kept on asking, what is this, what is that, what? She understood the whole thing, everything. She went out to her coordinator in the school, that the coordinator comes online every time. She went on, she explained her all these things. She said, okay, this is very good. Then they arranged for a session for us that she teaches to her classmates. Like, this is how it works, and this is the solar system, or the certain sign language, like thank you, please, and all those sign languages,
Right.
which is now useful for a teacher also while conducting the class, because the students are new.
Right.
So now they are allowing all those things. She has learned to read sentences now, wherein they are just starting with at a bat and all.
Mhm.
So still they are okay. They don't disturb her learning space.
Right,
They are
right.
like, okay, let her do it and everything. So now that makes it a bit confusing thing. Okay, our decision of shifting her to the homeschooling is okay, or if they are so much accommodative, so that's the thing goes on. Because my daughter likes the school, going to the school, because they teach her swimming and they allow her to play on the grounds and all those things. So
So I would say
it
just
makes it.
I would say just go with the child's flow, because this decision is not your decision. It is a collective decision. So, like, I also took about 6 7 months to come to this discussion. First, convincing myself whether we really want to take this road, and then convincing Dia. She was about what, fourth grade, means she was about 8 or 9. So at that age, we had lot many brainstorming sessions, lot many sociocracy kind of sessions, wherein we were giving her options. This is what will happen, this is what will happen, full day you will be free, and then pros and cons. So we were writing it down. So similarly, I think at this age itself, the child is also an adult. So you have to consult her. This is a collective decision. So you have to look at her needs when she is ready, when she demands her own time and she's not getting it. That's the time you should take the decision, not alone. So
Yeah,
right now, if
because
she's enjoying it, be with it.
right now she's doing fractions using her papad. She puts the
Very
papad in
good.
microwave and start
Yes.
doing the fractions out of it.
Yeah. So she's quite ahead.
So that's how she's like, this is a half and this is a 1/4, and all those things are going
Right.
on. So we are allowing it. Okay, let's
Yes.
do it. If she's doing it, let's allow it to do.
Yes.
Why to stop it if she's already grasping it?
In fact, give her more exposure into that. If the school is not giving her extended exposure to her potential, then you should actually strive to give her more challenging options. If she's already got into fractions, take her to a step ahead.
She has gone to nouns also now,
Yeah,
grammar,
great.
nouns and everything. Just by going on to some app, she was just using it for playing. Somewhere it came around to her idea, and now she's discussing about nouns and verbs with us for the 4.5 years, even we stepped back for a couple of days, like, okay, is this good enough, or is it, are we going way forward or faster forward?
Yeah. No, it's
So
not
that
about
way-
fast. She is doing, if she's enjoying the process and you are enjoying the process, that means she is happy and she actually has that potential. Now you have to only see whether the child will be given those kind of challenges from the school side, which was my problem. That even here was quite ahead, and the school never supported, no, we'll not take her ahead. So if you don't get that kind of things, then look for private pays.
Because right now she is going on private phase, because of the lockdown she has got that advantage of going to the drama and ballet dance and the drawing, all those stuff. But then she's least interested in doing mathematics and English reading. Now we are in that process, gradually going ahead. So we are now researching what are the groups that we can interact with, where we can go about, what are the information that is available around. So it's totally what do you say, a beginning phase for us with respect to the unschooling or the homeschooling part.
Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Since most of you all have started with school and then decided to unschool or homeschool, at any point till now, have you all ever felt that थोड़ा बहुत स्कूल भी होना चाहिए था, या फिर या kids demanding that we want to go back to school? वो आता है क्या फेस कभी ऐसा कुछ experience?
Similar thing I wanted to ask, because there were around 10 to 15 parents we have come across. They were doing homeschooling, and now they have reverted back to the schooling phase. So then it becomes like something. So how it is exactly going around, because there are a lot of people who are going back to schools now. After going for homeschooling for 2-3 years, 4 years, they go on for homeschooling, and then they're shifting back to the schools. And especially with these days, we have those activity-based schools that are coming up. In Pune, we have been like a lot of activity-based schools that are coming with respect to IB, IGCSE, and CBSE.
I think in the unschooling way of life, it's the child's choice. If the child chooses at one point in time that he or she wants to go back to school and have that structure, then that's his choice, or so we are welcome to even that. So I also know a friend who started off with unschooling. Then the child herself felt that self-directed learning and unstructured time is not for me. For me, I need some structure. That's what the child realized, and she told her mother, can you do a timetable for me so that I have this structured day planned for me, where I do some studies, some sort of an activity. So when it comes from the child, it makes it more beautiful. And I think each family has its own individual take on it, and it's a family's decision. It cannot be actually mentored from another perspective. Like, if it's your family, it's your choice there, and your family's needs and wishes are unique to your own family. So this is what I feel, that all of us, maybe we are using the term that we are unschooling or homeschooling, but each one chooses his own way to go about it. It's not, there is no set formula that this is what homeschooling is or this is what unschooling is. It is a individual choice of how we are going about it. So
each one will have his own formula. Very well said.
And
That's really nice.
There is no strict to do, like there is no strict structure that once you have started homeschooling or unschooling your child, you can never put your child back into the school. So it's not like that. So I also know a couple of my friends whose children told them that it's enough of unstructured learning now. We want to go back to school. So they have admitted them back to school. So that's okay. And yeah, one more thing, Rishabh. There are many learning centers. So if you want your child to go through any particular type of training or learning, you can find the learning center, and then your child can go there instead of going to school. I mean, that's what I do with my son. because my son is very much interested in flying an aeroplane. So he wants to be a pilot and he wants to construct his own plane. And it is very clear to him, though he is just 3.5, but he's very much interested in flying planes.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah,
For my
so
daughter, it is
that's
Master Chef going on these days.
Yeah.
She's behind. She has almost watched around 10, 15, no, almost 10 seasons of the Master Chef. Every time she's like, okay, now what are they cooking? Let me see. And she remembers each and every contestant out of the
Right, yeah. So I took him to a center. There is a military area in Pune, so where they allow children to come in and study everything about gliders and fighter planes and everything. And surprisingly, he could relate to it. He could relate to each and everything, though he is very young, but he could relate to it. So if they are inclined towards a particular topic, they relate to it. You just expose them to that topic training in depth, and then they can learn. Yeah.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
So I could say something here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, please, Chaitali.
Do you find, see, my son goes to a regular school and I'm not very happy with it. So what my problem is, I found him getting conditioned. See, before when he was 3 years old and I used to give him a lot of painting colors and stuff, and he used to make, very beautiful things that had actually like no forms, like not a particular figure or a scenery or something. But since he started going to school, I see him drawing a heart only or a bunch of grapes. So I feel somehow his mind is getting conditioned. And now when I tell him, better try to draw something on your own, he's not able to do it. So, he just draws that particular boat or an umbrella or an house. So do you guys find this difference in your children who are unschooled? Because I feel your kids don't get conditioned by this. Does this happen?
Yes, of course. I mean, I saw that difference. As I told you that my daughter is very much interested in arts. So when she used to go to school, she just used to maintain a file, which was told in the school. So she used to come home, draw that and put in the file, and that's it. But now if you see, her entire room is being painted, drawn. She loves to draw doodles. So there are doodles on her wardrobe, doodles on the wall, doodles on her phone. Now next target is my laptop. She's going to take my laptop and going to doodle on it. So yeah,
I would like to show you something which my 6.5-year-old has done. So he has gone only to junior KG and now he's homeschooled for 1.5 years. And he actually had a story behind it. So this is a tree and the horse wants to eat and this person helps him get the apples down. So yeah, this as an example.
Yeah. Because there is no limitation. They don't study for exams, right?
Right.
So, yeah, that's how they are free to learn whatever they want to learn. They are free to do whatever they want to do. It's not exams based learning. Ki exam de diya, bhul gaye. And that happens. And that's how we as parents are so frustrated कि ये last year ही तो पढ़ाया था, अभी कैसे भूल गए?
My problem is usko, see, abhi he is in UKG, then his school asks him to, mug up find the fruit spellings, ठीक है? और उसका interest ये है how this fruit grows or how is this fruit different from other fruit. So I am so frustrated that why does he have to learn the spelling of mango when he wants to learn what are the varieties of mango? But then I was, because I'm in a place where there are no homeschoolers. And I was just speaking to my husband today about unschooling him. And he was like, you are talking to me about a concept I don't know about. So if you want to take it forward, you are the one who has to do it. You take the strength and take it forward. So for me, this was the best time to attend this meeting, Like I got.
The thing is that the needs are different. The needs are different. That is why you're facing it. That's the same thing which is I'm going through that phase right now. That he's schooling, and the same thing. Like when they have an art class, he uses his own pictures to draw his own drawings, and that sir had told him to erase it and do what is there on the board. And when he comes home, I tell him not to erase, but then there in the classroom he has no option. The thing is that then they have to abide by what is going on, and quite a lot the mind is become conditioned. So whatever abstracts he used to do, even he has stopped doing now. That's what I was telling him the other day.
I've
I can
also
comment here.
realized one thing that with a period of time, like the increasing use of technology is going to change the definitions of every basic thing. Like when I asked my son that why don't you learn to write or why don't you learn to read? It's very important. So he said that no, mama, it's not important. I said, why? Alexa is there. So if I ask Alexa what is the weather today, she answers. I have a phone and I can type on phone. So why do I need to write? And which is very valid question, right? I mean, if we look at us as parents or elders, how much do we write actually? Usually we type on phone or laptop, right? So he said that I can type on phone. So why do I need to write? So that is also a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and 10
So
years
much
down
of
the line,
gaining the
the whole
knowledge, but application of the knowledge. Emphasis is going to be that because all the knowledge is out there on Google, YouTube. Like even today, whatever my daughter wants to learn, she just goes on YouTube and she's
Yeah.
on it. You know,
Yeah.
जो भी सीखना है. So the child basically needs to know, like, have that space to listen to the inner calling. कि करना क्या है? How do I want to spend my time? How do I want to express myself today? And that builds up day on day into their personality, into their character, and naturally into what they do. So it's a whole being kind of a system we are talking about. It goes much more in depth than the syllabus, which is broken down into subjects. Whereas in real life, if you see, we are learning constantly. Even today, as adults, we are learning so much. So there's no like beginning or end. But yeah, my path is different from everybody else's path, and so is everybody else's path too. So as children, when they identify their calling on a particular day, कि आज ये करने का मन है, so that is how they pave the way forward. And it's our job to somehow, step aside and give them that space, give them that platform to be themselves, to express themselves, and to move on. So that's what I
So
genuinely feel.
basic needs of like basic skills are being taken care of technology already. So what children need to learn is connection, connecting with nature, connecting with ourselves, learning to express feelings. So that's what we are. That's why we are here as parents, right? We need to expose our children to like lots of experiences than just academics. Yes, Rupali. Yes, Rupali.
Yeah, Chaitali, there is something that I have to share here. So my daughter went for a year and a half to an alternative school, and we thought that everything was, all our philosophies were well aligned with what we thought a learning center should be. There were just 4 children in that particular age group or that batch, imagine. So obviously you thought that, there was a lot of attention and justice being given to my daughter's wishes. But it wasn't like that. So even if there are 4 children that, let's say, a teacher has to attend to, when my daughter loves drawing a lot, when she was drawing, that she can't be allowed to continue doing drawing when others are asked to move on and transition to, they would make them sew beads. Beads a garland. And she would tell us that, I find it so monotonous. I mean, I'm the same thing over and over so many weeks. Like, I have to do the bead. I want to do it.
Rupali, you're breaking
It's
off.
not
Can't hear you
that
properly.
Valerie is distinct from other people. Yeah, it's probably the internet. Then I think somebody else
When
can
you were
take over.
out, yeah, outside your reception was better.
Okay, I'll try to go out. Okay, so just give me a moment here. Okay, so completely very different. Each drawing is different from the other. She draws a lot from what she sees in the environment, and so that when she comes together with other children, and I see the difference in what they are drawing and what Valerie is drawing, there is a lot of difference. And the first thing she started off when she started taking pen in her hand was she started telling, because she was reading a lot of stories, she started communicating by making, you know how we have cartoon books, or we have comics. So she would make boxes with where the boxes would tell the progressive story, and that was the beginning of her writing. And then she decided that I want a character to say something, and she would ask me, how do I write, okay, I want to do this. So she would ask me that, and I would ask her, so how would you spell want? What sounds like it? So her want was WNT, and we allowed that to be. Eventually she will correct herself. So one of the things that I wanted to also address, besides Chaitali's question, was the earlier question, was this transition from unstructured to structure. So this is an age, this younger age, or any time in life, one should be allowed the opportunity to explore things in an unstructured manner. And when in this age you explore that, what you're actually getting, or what you're actually finding in that process of unstructured process of learning, is your own style of learning, which is unique to others, which is unique to you, right? So this is an opportunity that a school does not give you. The school wants you to do maths in one particular pattern that the teacher subscribes to. However, a child may innately want to do the same maths in a different manner because its brain is working differently from the teachers. But that chance is not given. The same way, these children, though unschooled, will, go on doing unstructured learning. They will find the process, their style of learning. And over a period of time, you'll be surprised that a good number of them will naturally want to learn things in a structured manner, and they will gravitate towards institutions, and yet they will do the learning. They may go to those institutions, do professional courses, but they will still have one amazing tool in their hand, which is their personalized individual learning tool, and their inner structure, which is very clear to them, unlike all of us, where it is lost. Sorry, but so if we find ourselves at sea when we are, when we have to learn something new, whereas our children, if they are unschooled, they will be, they will find their zone. They'll be right there. They'll be right. They'll get the knack of it. So that is what I wanted to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Rupa. Absolutely. I mean, it's a journey, and we do see the difference. Though again, we're still kind of walking through it with all of you there. It surely gives us the comfort and the support that yes, we can connect and share the resources and our energies and kind of experiences. There's a question on Facebook, if I can open it out to all of you. Ruchi Sharma asks that, do you guys feel that excessive screens interfere with the child's connection with themselves, nature, and others around them? Because she feels that when her kids are lost in the screens, she feels very disconnected with them. So, I mean, as one of you mentioned, let the child be and be in that zone. So how do we cater to this? Rashmi, you're on mute.
Yeah. So if I can answer to that question. So meanwhile, is there screen shared? Purvi is sharing her screen, I guess, which is, yeah. So yeah, as the question is the screen sharing interfering too much of a connection with children? So it does actually. I mean, the more they are connected to the screen, the more they are disconnected with themselves, right? And the only thing is we as a parents can do is we need to give them equivalent or better than the screens, which will excite them more than the screens, right? And that can be nature, that can be their hobbies. And the most important thing which I found, which is better than screen, is a parent's presence. So the more parents are with them, the more they will be disconnected from the screens. Yes, so try to be with them more and more, and try
While I
yeah, yeah.
While I agree on what Rashmi says, that when there is a better alternative, they do don't go into the screen as much. But I feel that since now we are in such a age where screen is one major part of our being or living, um, I don't see a disconnect because of the screen time. In at least in my case, here my child, my elder one, he's totally into Minecraft, the game, and he's morning, like night, every time he's into Minecraft and thinking about it, and also discussing it with me, since I'm accessible to him to discuss about it, because even I'm interested to know, even though I'm not interested to play along with him. But the way he builds buildings there, it has taught him. He says that I have learned so many things from Minecraft, like architecture, maybe a little bit of geography, where he knows what type of stones can be used to build a house. And also they're having some sort of a auctioning going on there, so he has learned how to auction from that game itself. And they've made this even teamwork is coming into place there, because they play together and they have to build something together. So this is if that's the case with my elder son. My younger one, for him, he, even if he looks at any video, he comes back to us and he narrates what he saw, and we listen to it. This is what it is, or if the clouds, how are clouds formed, or it can be anything which he found interesting and catered to his curiosity. He'll come and share it with us. So I see screen time as also a trigger and for connections to the parent. And screen time, which might seem excessive in my elder son's case, it has not taken him away from nature. That is what, because he is the first thing he does in the morning is go and look at his plants. He has a watermelon growing, and he's also growing some tomatoes, and yeah, helps me out with my bioenzyme making. So all those things are there. So I think it's individualistic, like how you see it, or how involved are you in his screen time also keeps the connection intact, I guess. That's, yeah.
I could say something here. Anupama very well said. What we do is we kind of, when we say that, don't watch a mobile, don't watch this, instead of we connect with them. See, it's important to understand that we make them so when we you now was screen time, and we ask her, what did you see today, what did you experience today, and that's how we are involved.
Okay, Anu, we are not able to hear.
So we are involved in her screen time. Okay, just give me a minute again. Yeah. Okay, I'm running out of internet here, so I have to come in. Okay, after an hour of her watching something, we don't watch necessarily everything with her, but we connect with her. We make her realize that we are connected with what she watches. We are not unhappy about what she's watching, but we understand her need for watching something and what is it that she got from it. It's not like तुमने क्या सीखा उससे, लेकिन क्या देखा भी वल्लरी तुमने आज क्या देखा, ठीक है? So she shares what she says. She realizes that I need to interpret what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know what she realizes, but she wants to tell you something meaningful every time she shares. That's for sure. Another thing that I realize is that we do we allow her to have that 1 hour of screen time, but we also do certain things together. Like there is this Christopher Columbus series that we watch. All three of us watch it together. Prasad, myself, and Valerie. And that is something that we watch together, and we explore
geography and history through all that. Not by as a subject, but as just pure discussions. So our conversations revolve around that particular screen time we've had. So she realizes that screen time is not just about entertainment. It's about something that is part of our life. It's not something just time pass, right? We make it part of our life. So when you're doing that, you're validating it. You're giving it as much importance. Yes, you're getting your 1 hour's time, and what you're watching is important. So think about what you're watching, sort of.
With this screen time, what we have experiences for 3 years and 4 years, the smaller kids, they are very attracted towards the screens these days. Just give them the mobile phone and they'll go back to the YouTube videos and they go on and on and on till there is a big tamasha at the house if you try to take them out. What we have tried to do with my daughter, that I shared my experience with that there is this YouTube channel with the name of Patty Shukla or something. She teaches of the PE exercises. They have the dance videos. So she watches the dance video and she does the dance for herself. So that is her exercise also, and especially in the time like this with the lockdowns where they cannot go, her exercise is also done and she gets her own screen time. So she's happy and she leaves it. If that is also not done, so we have figured out a couple of virtual reality or augmented reality apps that has come up these days, and most of our mobile phones are okay with that. So we have given up, okay, this is how you project it and you go around. So she goes on around exploring what it is shows, how it shows, and like recently there were those elephants and animals that were coming up with Google. So we allowed her to do that. So she used to go around and see. So that way we modulated her screen time with that. So that had helped her to learn something and how this thing looks like. Her observation was improved with that. So she learned to observe if there is something in front of her, so her observation improved now. So that way we are using the same way she learned solar system with the augmented reality. She used to walk around, be like, okay, here is the sun, and she used to walk around the whole house, saying that okay, now there is a Saturn or something like that. So that's how we like made her switched her cartoon to something that she learns and uses it to a better way.
Absolutely, thank you. I think, yeah, that's true because it's a tool and it totally completely depends on us as to how we maneuver it and kind of make it more informative or more fun and engaging for them. But yes, also aware of families, as Anupama also kind of, said that they do allow and give the space. So I think it again depends on every individual, every family as to how they perceive it and take it forward. As long as you have an open dialogue and communication with your kids and everybody being on the same boat. Yeah. Sorry, Rupa, did you want to pitch in?
Not really, sorry.
Okay. All right. So we've had a lovely afternoon and, coming to an evening. So thanking all of you for being here, sharing your experiences, joys, ups and downs and your queries. It's been great, informative, and a thorough learning process. So we would like to call it an evening, unless somebody has something more to, add to, and, we can wind up.
Coffee.
And I would
Cup
like
of coffee.
Yes, absolutely.
I have
Totally.
the same sense.
Yeah, Kiran, sorry.
I would like to wish Tribe a very happy first birthday. And many more to come.
गा के तो सुनाओ.
Thank you. हाँ, वो किरण को गाना पड़ेगा.
क्या गाएं? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to the tribe.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's all
And
because of
thank
all of you.
Akshita for getting us, so close knit. In fact, the Pune tribe didn't really meet as much before, but then you kind of came in and you were like the catalyst to get everyone together. So thank you so much for that, and it's wonderful knowing all of you.
Pleasure. And I'm glad, and we wanted to kind of connect to many more places before COVID connected to us and with us. So at the moment, it's only COVID times and making peace with it. So yes, and somebody also asked about, are there more resources or Facebook groups? So there are many Facebook groups for homeschooling and unschooling. If you just type in, you may connect. You have Homeschooling India, you have Unschooling Society, you can check with LSUC, a lot of it which is there. So, it'll be difficult for you to make a choice as to which group I join and which I don't, which happened. And of course, the tribe's always there. We're happy to kind of connect. And we were always more of a meeting, connecting space. COVID has brought us virtual, but I'm loving this feel also. It's good to stay connected with many more people.
Okay.
Absolutely. So thank you all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashita, and thank you, everybody.
Pleasure.
So much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
See you soon.